Urgent, Dirty Birds fan, look at what just happened. Nobody saw this coming, huh? But first, make sure to subscribe to the channel because we bring you daily videos with the latest Dirty Birds news, and don't forget to turn on notifications, so you don't miss anything. Former HC pitches Vikings trade for Pro Bowl QB with $90 million price tag. Former NFL head coach Eric Mangini believes the Minnesota Vikings could be a fitting landing spot for Atlanta Falcons quarterback Kirk Cousins. Cousins, a four-time Pro Bowler, spent 6 seasons with the Vikings. He signed with the Falcons in free agency in 2024 amid the Vikings' plans to draft a quarterback, which ended up being J.J. McCarthy, only for the Falcons to select Michael Penix Jr. before that. With McCarthy an unknown commodity, Cousins could see an opportunity. I understand that they're taking a risk betting on McCarthy. They really took the risk when they drafted him, and now they're going to try to give it some time, here to see where he is. But this is a little bit deceptive, because they can't really trade for Kirk Cousins until after June 1st because the salary cap hit to Atlanta would be too great. But after June 1, it's easy, Mangini said on First Things First on April 15th. Right now, the only other quarterback is Brett Rypien on the roster right now, so I would imagine they're going to go get a backup that they feel could win a bunch of games should something happen to J.J. McCarthy. So that backup probably is going to need to have some level of experience. So I would imagine that's either Kirk Cousins or it's Aaron Rodgers. And they're going to let it go, play out through the spring, and then they'll go find someone, a veteran that they can bring in. If things go really south, they've got someone that can plug and play and actually win a bunch of games, Mangini said. The Vikings have all but ruled out signing Rodgers. And KTSP's Darren Wolfson reported on April 15th that the Vikings were never truly in on Drew Lock's Seattle Seahawks or Joe Flacco. Cleveland Browns before both signed elsewhere in free agency this offseason. Kirk Cousins could take advantage of Vikings need. The Vikings did offer both Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones contracts per Sports Illustrated's Albert Breer on April 14th, so their need is clear. Cousins' potential interest in returning to Minnesota is less so. Well, Kirk is a little bit interesting because when he left because the money wasn't right. But everything that I've read is that the relationship with the organization was great. The relationship with the city was great. The relationship with the coach is great. He might be of the mindset of, this gives me my best chance to be successful. Mangini said he may come in saying, yeah, I don't want to start. Whereas internally, yeah, he feels like he can beat out J.J. McCarthy if he goes back. And if he doesn't, he's in an environment that's great and his money is guaranteed anyways. Cousins completed 66, 9 of his throws for 3,508 yards, 18 touchdowns, and 16 interceptions, and he went 77 at QB1 before the Falcons benched him. McCarthy missed the regular season with a knee injury, which required 2 surgeries to address. He has declared himself fully healthy, though. Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell has also commended the QB for working hard off the field during rehab. Vikings general manager Kwesi Adofo-Mensah said the team plans to sign a veteran QB. Rypien, 28, is 22 as a starter with 168 passes in his career. Whether that leads the Vikings and Cousins back to one another is unclear. Falcons potentially open to buying draft pick with Kirk. Cousins, 36, signed a 4-year, $180 million contract with the Falcons in free agency. The Falcons decided to keep him this offseason despite the cost. A new team would take on 2 years and $90 million in a trade for Cousins, per Spotrac's Michael Ginitti in March. Of that, $10 million would be guaranteed immediately, with another $10 million locking in March 2026. The Falcons are opting to keep Kirk Cousins at 37. $5M cash with $75 of cap baked in as both a QB2, a potential trade chip, Ginitti said in another post on X in March. ATL is likely willing to eat a large portion of cash owed if it means buying a notable draft pick at some point this calendar year. Over the cap projects, the Vikings have $2 million in space to work with after an expensive free agency period. With a league-low 4 selections in the 2025 draft, the Vikings may resist trading from that pool. They are also only guaranteed 5 picks in 2026 thanks to some of their previous dealings, namely trading for Cam Robinson from the Jacksonville Jaguars during the 2024 season and Jordan Mason from the San Francisco 49ers this offseason. pausing. This news just to say that if you want YouTube to keep recommending the latest Dirty Birds news to you, it's very important that you leave a like on this video. Thanks. Now let's get back to the news. Should the Atlanta Falcons chase Miami corner Jalen Ramsey? Among this week's NFL headlines is the fact that the Miami Dolphins and corner Jalen Ramsey are heading for divorce. The two sides are ready to move on, and Ramsey will clearly have an extensive market when you consider the corner's history. While the deal is top dollar, the Dolphins will be responsible for a portion of it, helping to ease the 2025 cap hit. It seems likely that Ramsey will land with a contender if the two sides are working together to choose a landing spot. Since leaving his initial team, Ramsey has chosen two franchises that were making a noted push to contend. This limits the chances that Atlanta could land the star, even if they are willing to spend what it will take. Atlanta would be a great fit for Ramsey, but lacks the draft capital to acquire the star corner. The problem for the Falcons is the fact that the reason Ramsey is a fit is the same reason the team can't afford the veteran corner. While they could spend a 2026 pick, it seems likely they don't want to begin borrowing from the future with only 5 picks in this year's draft. The team has more defensive needs than draft selections, and spending assets to acquire Jalen Ramsey at this stage of his career could be viewed as an unnecessary risk. It is a fit for Atlanta, but it is the type of move you make when you're making a push to contend. Nothing about Atlanta's 2025 offseason suggests the team views themselves as a realistic contender. Appearing content to take a step back and put the fate of the season completely on the shoulder of Phoenix and the Atlanta offense, Jalen Ramsey would be a great fit for the Falcons and would bring an edge to the defense that is badly needed. However, it is difficult to see Atlanta willing to spend assets to bring in an aging player into a young roster. Unless the Falcons believe they are closer than they appear to be, it simply doesn't fit their timeline. Taron Wack's 7th-round mock draft. Perhaps a surprise for Atlanta at number 15 plus a second-round trade gathers the Falcons more draft capital. Disclaimer: the statements and opinions regarding players and/or potential future players in the article below are those of the Atlanta Falcons editorial staff and are not of the Atlanta Falcons football personnel unless noted in a direct quote. First-round pick number 15 edge Donovan Eziruaku, Boston College pass rush. Pass rush. Pass rush. The Falcons must improve their pass rush in 2025. That has been a hot storyline since the 2024 season ended, considering the defense finished second to last in the league with 31 sacks. Well, this, in my mock at least, is finally the year Falcons general manager Terry Fontenot drafts not only a defensive player but an edge rusher in the first round. Eziruaku had an incredible senior season. His final stat line featured 80 tackles, 5 tackles for loss, 4th most in FBS, 16, 5 sacks, 2nd most in the FBS, 3 forced fumbles, and a pass breakup. He was the ACC Defensive Player of the Year, understandably so since he led the conference in both sacks and tackles for loss. I know his prior seasons weren't as flashy when it came to taking down the quarterback, 3 sacks in 2021, 8, 5 in 2022, and 2 in 2023, but his numbers remained consistent in other regards, 3 forced fumbles and 2 pass breakups in 2022, and 2 forced fumbles and a pass breakup in 2023. It's a well-rounded resume. Oh, and I forgot perhaps the most important part, Eziruaku won the most recent Ted Hendricks Award, which is given to college football's top defensive end. Enough said. Underrated prospect, in my opinion. Donovan Eziruaku Supercut, the bend and pass rush bag is disgusting pick. Twitter. ComFM, WBSFF, and COH NFL Draft Files, NFL DF March 17th, 2025. Second-round pick, number 46, trade Atlanta Falcons, send to Denver. Broncos round 2, number 46 Denver. Broncos send to Atlanta, Falcons round 2, number 51 round 4. Number 122 Falcons general manager Terry Fontenot has never made a first-round trade since joining the organization in 2021. He has, however, made a second-round trade every year. Normally 3 out of 4 times he trades up, and that one time down was in his first year. The Falcons have a franchise-low 5 picks in 2025, though, so gotta do what you gotta do. Fontenot has yet to put together a trade package that isn't 2-for-1 or 2-for-2. Therefore, I'm sticking to that formula, but making it 1-for-2 in the Falcons' favor for once. Second-round pick number 51, CB Chavon Revel, East Carolina. because the Falcons resigned Mike Hughes to a 3-year deal. Nonetheless, I went back and forth on whether to draft a cornerback. Hughes will presumably return to his spot as the starting corner opposite A.J. Terrell. They could be running mates through at least the 2028 season before Hughes becomes a free agent, and then Terrell does so in 2029. I chose to still draft a cornerback because none of that is guaranteed, and the Falcons need a good backup option anyway, whether that's Revel or Hughes. It's better to have depth and competition. Revel would have the opportunity to learn from a pair of veterans and ease into the NFL world after the ACL injury that shortened his senior season. There were a few other cornerbacks still on the board when this pick rolled around, such as Iowa State's Darian Porter and Notre Dame's Benjamin Morrison. I did take the time look too at them. I chose to believe Revel is a day 2 steal because of his injury. He had a breakout 2023 season, which leaves curiosity about what a healthy 2024 could have looked like and a desire to find out in 2025 at the next level. Personally, and what truly tipped the scale in Revel's favor, I did not attend ECU, but have a weird amount of close friends who did. So this one's for those Pirates I do know and love. 4th round, pick number 1-18, Edge Oluwafemi Oladejo, UCLA Dublin. Down on edge rushers, since improving the pass rush is, again, such a priority this offseason. Even veteran Leonard Floyd said the more, the merrier after he signed with the Falcons as a free agent last month. I might as well grab another option in day 3 to really give the Falcons a variety to test in training camp. You really never know who is going to boom or bust in the NFL. This might sound weird, but I think Oladejo's lack of action at edge could actually be a good thing. He's still rather fresh at the gig. Falcons defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich can morph him into a pass rusher of his choice. For most of his collegiate career, Oladejo was an inside linebacker, starting 17 games across all 4 seasons. He started 10 games at edge only in his final season, and yet he led the Bruins in sacks 4, 5 in tackles for loss 13, 5 in 2024. If anything, the diverse background could benefit his and the Falcons' futures. It certainly shouldn't hurt it. 4th round, pick number 122, C. Seth McLaughlin, Ohio State. After Drew Dalman became a free agent and signed with the Chicago Bears, the Falcons penciled Ryan Neuzil in as their starting center. Neuzil started 8 games for the Falcons last season when Dalman was out with an ankle injury. The majority of Neuzil's game snaps were paired with former starting quarterback Kirk Cousins, but Neuzil otherwise practiced with current starting quarterback Michael Penix Jr., so this makes sense. A connection exists, however, if Neuzil were to get injured. The Falcons don't have an experienced backup option already in-house. Jovan Gwynn and Matthew Cindric have only seen preseason reps at center. Bringing in a rookie with at least recent game work could not only be an easy fix, but also a future one. Besides, who better to plug into the offensive line than the Remington Trophy winner? McLaughlin was deemed the most outstanding center in Division I football last year. 7th round, pick number 218, S. Malachi Moore, Alabama. I want to see how DeMarco Helms bounces back from the ankle injury that sidelined him the entire 2024 season before investing first or second day draft capital on another safety. Helms was trending in the right direction both as a rookie and in his second training camp. Besides, the Falcons signed Jordan Fuller in free agency, so there's already competition for the spot opposite Jesse Bates III. Moore can learn and develop in a reserve role and maybe even show off on special teams in the meantime. He did score a touchdown on a blocked punt in 2022. Also, a fun fact I discovered that partially fueled this decision. In 2020, Moore became the first true freshman defensive back to start in an opener for the Crimson Tide since Minkah Fitzpatrick. Did so in a 2015 game I covered. That's good company to keep regardless of where Moore ends up being selected in real life. Fitzpatrick was a first-rounder in 2018 and has since earned 3 AP All-Pro first-team honors and 5 Pro Bowl appearances. 7th round pick number 242T, Jalen Travis, Iowa State. To be completely honest, Travis was the highest-rated offensive tackle available, and that's why I blindly picked him. The Falcons should start thinking about the future of their offensive line, especially the tackle position. On the left side, Jake Matthews is 33 years old and entering his 12th season. Though he literally signed a contract extension just last month that'll keep him in Atlanta through the 2028 season, Mr. Consistent is bound to retire at some point. Same thing with Caleb McGarry on the right side. He's a bit younger, 30 years old, embarking on his 7th season but set to hit free agency after the 2025 season. So why did he be smart to bring in a rookie to soak up knowledge from these veterans while around? It was a long shot, but I was hoping Holland Pierce would still be on the board. The Pittsburgh Steelers picked him at number 229 in my simulation. Regardless, I'm giving him an honorable mention here as the largest tackle in the draft class. Pierce is 6'8" and 341 pounds. Travis, meanwhile, is 6'7" and 339 pounds, so still not a stature to scoff at. And now, Dirty Birds. Fan, I want to hear from you. What's your opinion on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I don't know if you know this, but your opinion matters a lot for Dirty Birds. He'll be back any moment with more Dirty Birds news. ATL, rise up.